Outside a bank, thousands of people have gathered. But inside the same bank, a group of people is preparing to break into a locker known as the most secure and hardest in the world. Could they really open such a tough locker? And even if they could open it, getting out with the contents would not be easy at all. Why? The story begins in 1656. In the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, a ship is caught in a storm and begins to sink, taking with it a very special chest aboard. The scene cuts, and the story moves forward to September 2009. We see several people searching for the sunken ship. They have already found many valuable items that were on board. The man leading the search is named Walter, but Walter's team continues to search underwater because they still haven't found that special box, the one we saw sinking at the beginning of the story. After hours of searching, they finally find the chest. Then James, Walter's friend and partner, appears in the scene. Both are happy, but suddenly the Spanish police arrive and arrest Walter's team along with their ship. The scene cuts to a courtroom where it is revealed that Walter had not obtained any permission from the Spanish government to search for the ship, since it was very close to Spain's maritime boundary. Therefore, the Spanish government decides that all the valuable items recovered from the ship will remain with Spain. Next, we see Walter talking to a woman named Margaret. Both are from England, and Margaret is an official of the English government. Until now, the English government had been fully assisting Walter in locating the lost treasure. But because Spain refused to cooperate, the treasure slips out of Walter's hand. Then, the military arrives with the treasure and delivers it to a Spanish bank. The head of security at this bank is named Gustav. The treasure is placed in a highly secure vault inside the bank. The story then jumps ahead 1 year, to 2010. Now we are introduced to a highly intelligent and talented young man named Tom. He has recently completed his studies in advanced engineering, and as a result, many large companies are offering him jobs. Come work for our company. We'll give you this much salary. We'll offer even more. Everyone is trying to lure him. But Tom rejects all the offers because he has no interest in a normal, everyday job like most people. This worries his father greatly. He repeatedly tells him, "Decide quickly, but make sure you know what you really want to do in life." At that very moment, someone suddenly sends Tom a message. "Come outside." Tom doesn't know who sent the message, but he goes outside anyway, where a man hands him a coat. In the pocket of the coat, there is an address, his next destination. Tom arrives at the address where a party is taking place. He wonders to himself, "Who has called me here?" Just then, a girl approaches him and leads him a little aside. At the front, she stands near another man as if she is talking to him, but in between, she secretly steals the man's purse. Tom asks, "Why did you steal his purse?" The girl replies, "I don't have a purse of my own." But when Tom looks closely, he sees that the stolen purse is tucked into the pocket of her jacket. In other words, she is a very skilled thief. The girl then takes Tom to another location and introduces him to Walter, the same Walter we saw earlier. Here, Walter tells Tom, "We are going to steal from the world's most secure and toughest locker. It's called the miracle of engineering. How it works and how it opens, only the bank's people know. That's why we need your help." Because Tom is an exceptionally talented engineer, Walter trusts that Tom will be able to understand the locker's system and open it. At first, Tom refuses, but after thinking for a while, he realizes this is exactly the strange, challenging job he has always wanted to do. So he goes home and begins researching the miracle of engineering locker at the Bank of Spain. But even there, he finds the same answer. It is impossible for thieves to open this locker. Finally, Tom decides to join Walter's team. When he reaches the airport, he meets the girl again. This time, her true identity is revealed. Her name is Lauren. Then, the two of them arrive in Spain, where they learn that a major soccer match is taking place in the country. And not just any match, but Spain's national team has reached the quarterfinals. When Tom and Lauren reach their room, Walter begins introducing Tom to his team. First is Elias, a master computer hacker. Then comes James, always ready to take on any kind of task. Next is Simmons, whose skill is acquiring anything, no matter how difficult it is, by any means necessary. Now the key point is, Tom will be the mastermind of the entire operation and will guide the team. The team is a bit concerned because every Bank of Spain employee has a unique password. If they can obtain any employee's password, it will allow them to hack into the CCTV system. At that moment, Tom comes up with an idea. If a bank employee is on leave today, one of you can pose as a bank official and call them. Tell them there's an urgent message from the bank that can only be heard if they give their password. Following Tom's plan, the team calls an employee on leave. The moment the employee gives the password, the team gains control over several CCTV cameras. Not all cameras, but a few critical ones. This proves that Tom is truly a valuable member of the team. Meanwhile, James and Simmons go near the train tunnels to check if there's any secret underground route connected to the bank. At the same time, Walter shares another crucial piece of information with Tom. In the 1500s, a man named Francis Drake stole a massive treasure from Spain and hid it somewhere. No one knows where that treasure was hidden, but he engraved the clues to its location on 3 special coins. Those 3 coins were kept in a special chest, and that chest is none other than the one we saw sink into the ocean at the very beginning of the story. Now, that chest is safely stored inside the Miracle of Engineering locker at the Bank of Spain. The team begins planning. Every corner of the bank is covered with CCTV cameras, and for even the slightest disturbance, 500 soldiers are always on standby to respond. This means entering the bank directly is absolutely impossible, so they must find some hidden underground passage that connects to the bank. Meanwhile, they obtain 2 drawings. One is made by a man who once worked at the Bank of Spain and knew the internal structure of the Miracle of Engineering locker. The other is a drawing of a statue, though the team has no clear idea what it means. Now comes the biggest problem. To open the locker, they first have to understand how it works. But Tom and his team still can't figure out the internal mechanism of the locker. They then contact the bank's security team and give a fake excuse. They claim they are coming to do cleaning and maintenance work. Simmons gets the permission approved and even creates fake identification for a phony cleaning company. Meanwhile, the people of Spain are celebrating wildly because their football team has won the quarterfinal match. At this moment, Walter's team faces a new challenge. They must enter the bank and scan the locker with a special device to obtain the blueprint of the Miracle of Engineering system. But James cannot enter the bank in disguise because he was formerly a soldier. The moment he walks in, the bank's face scanner will recognize him, and suspicion will arise immediately. So Tom says, "I'll go inside the bank." The next day, the bank's security chief, Gustav, arrives at the bank, and with him is the disguised cleaning staff member. Simons and Tom also enter the bank. Walter's team watches everything on the CCTV screen. At that moment, Lauren also enters the bank in disguise. She poses as an official responsible for checking the security of the bank's valuable painting. Here, she encounters Gustav. While talking to him, Lauren secretly takes something out of her pocket, then immediately puts it back. Why she did this will be revealed later. Meanwhile, Simons reaches the basement server room and installs a small special device. Instantly, control of the entire bank's CCTV system falls into Klaus's hands. At the same time, Lauren is sent to another room under the pretext of inspecting a painting. While pretending to examine the painting, Klaus records her every move. Then Lauren tries to open a small locker in the room. But on the CCTV feed, Gustav only sees her checking the painting because Klaus plays the fake footage he recorded on the screen. From that small locker, Lauren finds a key. She immediately scans it. Meanwhile, Tom reaches an empty room. Directly beneath that room lies the Miracle of Engineering locker. He sets up the scanning device there and begins his work. Lauren scans the key and returns it to its previous place. Just then, the bank owner arrives and begins talking to Lauren, completely unaware that she had held the key. Tom continues running the scanner. At that moment, some people enter the room for a meeting, but since they remain above, they cannot see Tom hiding below. Lauren is then sent to check another painting. There, she finds another key and scans it as well. Meanwhile, Tom keeps the scanner running for too long. This turns out to be a mistake. The bank's security system triggers an alert. Suddenly, alarms start blaring. The bank goes on high security alert, and even the military prepares to respond. Lauren is about to return the second key when the bank owner arrives and takes her outside. The key remains with her. Tom quickly reaches her, retrieves the key, and returns it to its original place in the room. A short while later, security personnel come to check the room. As soon as they enter, Tom pretends to be doing cleaning work, so no one suspects him at all. Even Gustav thinks everything is normal. He has no idea why the alarm went off. He thinks perhaps a short circuit somewhere triggered the alarm, and with that, he leaves the matter at that. Next, it is revealed. The device they had installed in the room above has now fully mapped the interior of the Miracle of Engineering locker below, creating a complete blueprint. Tom studies the blueprint and begins explaining it to the team. The locker is surrounded on all sides by extremely thick concrete walls. There is a tunnel beneath it, and directly above is a massive water tank. Just by looking at the water tank, everything suddenly becomes clear to Tom. The drawing we saw at the beginning shows that in the locker room, a large statue stands holding a scale. This means that even the slightest change in weight in the locker room will cause all the water from the tank above to flood the room, leaving no chance for any thief who entered. The water would drown them instantly. The crucial point here is, opening the locker is not the real challenge. The real challenge is entering it and getting out alive. Meanwhile, Gustav and the bank owner remain completely confused. Everything seems fine, yet why did the alarm go off? Tom continues to experiment, trying to figure out if there's any way to enter the locker and exit safely. Meanwhile, James and Simons work hard and manage to locate the tunnel beneath the locker. Inside the tunnel, they discover a large machine. Looking at the weight measuring meter attached to it, everything suddenly makes sense to them. From the meter, James and Simons confirm everything Tom said is true. Even the slightest change in weight in the locker room will cause all the water from the tank above to flood down. The key point is, the locker room is built directly above the tunnel. But then James and Simons deliver a shocking piece of news to Walter. If they are to create a path from the tunnel to reach the locker, the entire job would take 15 days. Hearing this, everyone feels discouraged, because everyone's attention is now focused on the football match. In 15 days, the match will be over. This means that people's focus will return to the bank, making the heist almost impossible. Standing amid this worry, Walter looks out the window. He notices that all the bank's CCTV cameras are pointing toward the streets, where thousands of people have gathered to watch the football match. This gives the team a new idea. If entering through the tunnel is impossible, they could enter via the bank's roof. And the best day to do this would be on the football final, because the entire country will be absorbed in the match. The team decides the heist will happen on the day of the final, but at the same time, another problem arises. Gustav discovers that for the past 2 days, not a single employee from the bank's actual cleaning company has entered the bank. This means the people posing as cleaning staff were fake. Gustav quickly uncovers the fake profiles of Simons and Tom and presents all the evidence to the bank owner. Someone tried to sneak into our bank. We need to be even more careful. This news gradually reaches Walter's team as well, and they realize Gustav now completely suspects Simons and Tom. This means their real identities have almost been exposed. Realizing this, Walter immediately calls Margaret and tells her, 2 members of our team have disappeared. The English police have arrested them. You must inform the Bank of Spain about this, otherwise we can't move forward. Margaret agrees. Meanwhile, just as Gustav is preparing to double the security of the bank, he receives a message. Simons and Tom have been arrested in England because they are thieves. Hearing this, the pressure on the bank relaxes a little. On the other side, Lauren takes Tom to a pub. There she opens up emotionally. After my father passed away, there was only one person who could take care of me, Walter. That's why I work for him. At that moment, Tom notices Klaus freezing something. And from this, a brilliant idea hits him. He places a glass of water on a weighing scale. The scale shows the weight immediately. But when he freezes the same glass in nitrogen and puts it back on the scale, the machine shows no weight at all. Tom explains this idea to the team. If they can freeze the weight detection machine inside the locker, the team will be able to enter and exit the locker room freely, and the machine won't detect anything. Everyone feels the plan is perfect, so the task of freezing the machine in the tunnel is given to Simon. Then the major preparations begin. At this time, it's revealed that from the coffee cup Lauren gave Gustav, and later retrieved, they have extracted Gustav's fingerprints as well. Meanwhile, Walter buys 3 ancient coins. Why he buys them will be revealed later. The 2 keys Lauren scanned inside the bank are now perfectly duplicated. Everything is ready. Tomorrow they must enter the bank, so everyone goes to rest. Here, an important truth is revealed. The massive treasure seized by the Spanish government is not what the team wants at all. Their real target is only the special chest containing the 3 coins, because the clues engraved on those coins reveal the location of the massive treasure Francis Drake hid centuries ago. The next day, the whole of Spain is immersed in football excitement. Klaus is ready with his computer systems. Inside the tunnel, Simons is preparing to freeze the weight detector. And at a distance, Walter is monitoring the entire operation. At that moment, James, Tom, and Lauren reach the bank's roof using ropes. Meanwhile, security below has been further tightened. Nevertheless, the 3 carefully open a glass panel and slowly descend into the bank, eventually arriving at a specific room. From there, they enter an air ventilation duct and move forward, reaching the lift section. As they begin to descend, they encounter a large bridge, but the bridge has already been cut, so they set up a ladder. Tom and Lauren reach the other side first. James starts climbing, but his weight makes the ladder sway violently. He nearly falls, but Tom quickly grabs him, saving his life. Moving further, they come to a door. Klaus painstakingly hacks the door's password and relays the code to them. The door opens immediately upon entering the password, and they arrive in front of the legendary Miracle of Engineering locker. Inside, they use Gustav's collected fingerprints on a device. Then, they insert the prepared duplicate key and turn it, and the locker opens. Inside, they see a golden statue along with numerous precious jewels, but entering directly is still not safe. Meanwhile, in the tunnel, Simons begins spraying nitrogen onto the massive weight-detecting machine, trying to freeze it completely. He uses all the nitrogen he has, yet the locker does not freeze entirely. Everyone assumes the plan has failed, but after a short while, the locker slowly begins to freeze. Now, upon entering, they see the machine is completely frozen. It can no longer detect their weight. The three start searching for the special chest containing the 3 coins, but at that moment, the machine begins warming up rapidly. Meanwhile, Gustav's team spots a pigeon inside the bank. Following it, they reach the exact spot where James and the others had lifted the glass to enter the bank. Now, Gustav is certain someone has entered the bank. At the same time, Walter and his team realize that Gustav has discovered the truth. Walter cannot leave the site. He says, "Surrender immediately." But James, aiming a gun, responds, "Give us that chest, the one with the 3 coins." James is deceiving Walter and his team. Now, everyone starts realizing what's happening. At that moment, the locker door closes, because the machine has recalibrated and their weight is being detected again. Meanwhile, Gustav's team also understands everything. The military is now fully prepared and stationed around the bank. Inside the locker, water begins to fill up. James grabs the chest containing the 3 coins and slowly moves toward the side where the water is entering. The other 2 cannot move as quickly. Then, Tom realizes when the locker fills completely with water, the water flow will stop. In other words, they need to trick the weight measuring machine into thinking there is enough weight inside the locker, meaning it's fully filled with water. Simons then places all the cylinders from the tunnel onto the machine to increase the weight. Meanwhile, the small device Simons had installed in the server room to hack the CCTV is removed by Gustav's team. Full control of the cameras returns to Gustav. Someone also moves a camera from above inside the locker. Meanwhile, James somehow exits the locker. In the tunnel, Simons has added so much weight to the machine that it overloads, stopping the water flow. Because of the camera being removed, now even Walter and Klaus have no idea whether Tom and Lauren are still alive. Meanwhile, when Gustav and his team reach the locker room, they find no one inside. This means Tom and Lauren have already escaped. At the same time, Walter suddenly hears Tom and Lauren's voices in his earpiece because they have managed to get out of the bank and into the crowded streets despite the extreme danger. The military is in pursuit, but at that moment, they wear football team uniforms, so they cannot be recognized. Right then, Spain's team wins the final match. Celebrations erupt across the city. The massive crowd allows Tom and Lauren to slip away easily. Later, Walter meets with Margaret, and it becomes clear that James was actually working for her. He steals a chest and gives it to Margaret. After a brief conversation, James leaves. Margaret then verifies the identities of the 3, and it is immediately revealed they are not the real ones, but decoys. In fact, from the very beginning, Walter had already bought the 3 old coins. As soon as the real coins were found in the locker, Loren quietly swapped them out. This means Walter knew everything from the start. James was working for Margaret. Now, the real 3 coins are with the inverter, and the markings on these coins reveal the location of the huge treasure hidden by Francis Drake. When they decode the clue, they discover that the treasure is hidden beneath the Bank of England. Then Lauren changes her disguise and reaches the Bank of England. In other words, another major heist is about to begin here. This is where the movie ends.